Hello, my name is Mike Ward and I'm the head of content in Pharma Intelligence. We're here in Vienna at the BioEurope Spring Meeting. It's a meeting where the pharmaceutical, biotech and investors all get together to sort of discuss some of the challenges, look at the opportunities for both deal making and for investment. The pharmaceutical industry is well known for the challenges it has around attrition when it comes to actually drug development. Often some of those failures are associated with issues around the actual molecule itself. Not necessarily is it safe, but actually are we able to deliver a proper product.
I'm joined by Christian Jones, who's the Chief Commercial Officer of the Helsinki-based company Nanoform. And this is basically the challenge that your company is focusing on around that. Can we actually get a product?
Absolutely, Mike. I think if you look at the pharma pipeline right now, there's about 75% of molecules that are either classified as BCS class 2 or 4. And what that means is that they have very low solubility in the body, but they also have quite low permeability and bioavailability. So our technology is looking to address that challenge with existing molecules in the pipeline, but also looking to try and enable more compounds from late-stage drug discovery to enter into preclinical and clinical development. And typically the attrition is there at that stage is about 50 to 60%. So whilst 75% are currently in development, there's technologies being used to try and overcome those challenges. There's a good proportion of molecules that don't even make it to clinic. They could be fantastic assets that could have wonderful cures for some diseases.
So of course, a lot of the focus these days is around the biology. So understanding the biology of these molecules is important, understanding the chemistry, but actually now we're seeing how physics also plays a role.
Absolutely. So physics is the core, science behind our company. Our CEO is Professor Edward Häggström, who's the professor at University of Helsinki at Physics Department. He's also been at Harvard and Stanford and has been a PI at CERN. And we've had other disciplines bringing into the company as well. So whilst we are, physics is the backbone to our organization, trying to tackle challenges within pharmaceuticals, we also have chemistry, biology. So we're a multidisciplinary team and we're bringing in formulation now too.
And the name Nanoform, nano is 10 to the minus 9. Do you actually get down to that level?
Absolutely. So I believe that we are the only company in the world that can make nanoparticles of crystalline material without any excipients from solution to particle. There are other ways of making nanoparticles. They often involve lipids or micelles or liposomes. They tend to be amorphous materials or they involve exotic excipients. There's other ways to try and tackle the problem, which is a top-down approach. So you take a crystal and you micronize it or you nanomill it. But that process itself introduces huge amounts of energy to the particles and can create large amorphous domains on the particles. So they stick together and they don't formulate very well. And they have a long relaxation time before you can use them. So our technology makes the most stable material available to the industry.
Right, okay, so technically you're clearly able to demonstrate that it's getting to the size that's going to make them soluble. But do you actually have any real world examples of where this approach actually does make a difference to the ability to deliver a medicine?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've looked at a few case studies. One example is peroxicam. That's in a lot of our marketing materials. In that particular example, it's a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug, but it's got real issues with its solubility. So we've shown that, from a dissolution rate perspective, it's significantly enhanced versus micronized. But also from a bioavailability perspective, we've put it into rats, and we've actually shown an improvement there as well. So, not only can this technology offer the potential to enable molecules into clinic, if you can have a quicker onset of action, you could reduce the dosages required for certain drugs, maybe take away some of the side effects too.
So how do people interact? If I was a pharmaceutical or a biotech company, is it I'm likely to come to you and saying, look, I've got this molecule, but I've got solubility issues?
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you fix it?
Absolutely. So we have both non-GMP labs, and we're building a GMP facility right now in Helsinki, We don't want to be a CDMO company. That's not who we are. We're a technology provider. We want to partner with pharma companies to try and overcome these technical challenges. We are planning to deliver materials typically up to phase 2 in clinical development, and then we would place our technology into a large pharma organization for them to be able to take it from there through to commercialization. We're also looking to identify right now a strategic CDMO partner that can house our technology so it can provide it, and the important thing there is that they're a well-known, recognized name. They've got strategic preferred supplier relationships with major pharma, and they've got a pedigree in particle engineering. So we're in discussions at the moment just to try and commercialize and make sure that the security of supply of the technology is there.
So how are deals structured? I mean, is it that, you know, if I was a pharma company, that I would actually in-license the technology because it is a platform, or is it on a molecule by molecule basis?
I think we're a very flexible company. We're a small startup organization. I would never want a commercial deal to prohibit adoption of the technology. Clearly we want to see value for the technology and you know, that has to be recognized with our partners. If the technology is truly enabling, there's more value, and we would hopefully be able to share in some of that.
So again, so we're talking about deal structure. How do you enable that value is delivered back to Nanoform? How much skin in the game do you have going forward?
So the first thing we do is we will actually do some work on the compound. We'll do a proof of concept study, a quick look-see to see can we nanonize that material or not. Typically we get success rates of about 85 to 90%, so the likelihood is we will be able to progress. Once we've been able to work on that compound and we've said yes, tick, we can nanonize it, it's crystalline material, it meets the specifications that the client's looking for, we'll then move into a proof of process study. And within that study, we would then look at optimizing the process parameters for the process to get exactly the right attributes, the particles that the company is looking for, make sure that the technology and the process is reproducible every time before we move to a demonstration batch. So then we do a demo batch, again non-GMP, before we move into clinical manufacturing. And then it would be a material supply in the early phase of clinical before providing a license to the company to have the technology for their product, whether that's built into the price per kilo of the product or whether it's in a more elaborate technology license deal.
Where there might be sort of a royalty depending on the sort of the sales of an ultimate product.
Yeah, so every company is different in the way they like to work with technology providers, which is why I said we want to be flexible in our approach. If certain companies don't want to invest in the fee-for-service arrangement and they would prefer to have milestone payments and royalty on clinical successes, that's fine. You know, we're happy to adopt that model, but we also recognise that the industry doesn't like to adopt those models, and that can often prohibit technology adoption. So.
And are there any sort of class of molecules that actually are still pretty sort of difficult to sort of nanosize? That's therefore, if I came to you and I had that kind of molecule, you'd say no, forget it.
I would say that across the board, complexity is increasing with drug discovery. But there are some more challenging areas like oncology where the molecule complexity is really causing a problem. And for that very reason, not only are we being able to provide materials to Safebridge Category 3 within our existing setup, but our second GMP expansion, which should come online in the summer of next year in 2020, we hope to be able to handle down to Safebridge Category 4, so cytotoxic materials at that sort of 0.1 microgram per meter cubed OEL levels.
So, and finally, so how is the company financed to date, and what does that look like going forward?
So Edward's brother is the CFO, it's Albert Hegstrom. Albert has got an investment banking background, and he's been able to very successfully bring in investment for the organisation. Last year in the summer we raised 7 million euros as a private placement.
And this is from high net worth individuals?
Absolutely, yeah. So the University of Helsinki has a major stake. We were successful in bringing in the Sampo Group, which is the Nordic's largest insurance provider through Mandatum Life Science division, as a major shareholder as well. And we have over 100 other investors and individuals.
Okay, great. Well, Christian, thanks very much for stopping by.
Not at all, pleasure. Thanks, Mike. Cheers.